Welcome back to Stay In, Stay Safe. It's actually Stay Alert and Stay Safe, because that's the new laws we have in the UK here. A bit confusing, but hello. Sorry it's been a long time. Today I thought I'd do a seascape. I've had a friend of mine contact me saying a lot of people are really wanting to look at holiday destinations that they would be going to if this lockdown hadn't happened. So I thought I'd do my favourite place in Cornwall, Tintagel. I think it's Tintagel, that's how you say it, where King Arthur supposedly had a castle and all that. So I'm using oil paint, but you can do this in acrylic. I started off with Prussian blue, white, and a bit of burnt umber, because I wanted this to be kind of moody. And then at the bottom here I add a little bit of lemon yellow to the blue to make it a little bit green. But I'm using this brush here, this flat brush, just to put in where all the colour is on this canvas board. And then I'll use a big brush to kind of smooth it all in. I kind of sort of mapped out roughly where the rocks are, so yeah, I know where they are. This is a big DIY bristle brush that I'm using to blend with. You can get these for about 89p in a DIY shop, these little brushes, the big brushes, sorry. You only get a few uses out of them, but you know, they're good for blending skies and things like that. And they're so, you know, they're quite versatile, so you can kind of blend it quite easily. Now I'm using the same colours again, just to create the first rocks in the distance, so I don't want it to stand out too much. Obviously the further away you go with the rocks, the more the atmosphere and the changes the colour, it makes them more blue. And so this is just Prussian blue, white, and a bit of burnt umber to create these rocks in the background. I always start like far away and then do the foreground as well. So I'm adding a bit of black here. This black is where the caves are, so there's like 3 caves in this picture. There's one back there and a couple in the front. I've been up to this place many times and taken lots of photos. I think I just got a photo from the internet for this one, but I've got loads of photos of this place, and I've done a lot of paintings around this. If I could go anywhere right now, I'd go to Cornwall and sit there and paint this landscape. Got a bit of a reflection there in the water. You notice the sky in the water, there's no definite line of the horizon. I didn't want to put that in there because it's not a sunny day. This is a misty day, which it always normally is when I go there, to be honest. It's normally always misty, so I'm putting in dark areas first and then adding the grass on top. So you kind of this is sap green. I just added a bit of sap green to the same colours, possibly a little bit of yellow ochre as well. A bit of yellow ochre down there for the beach. I'm sort of plotting in where the colour's going to be right now. This is all blocking in, so you're sort of blocking in the colours where you want them to be before you add any sort of detail or anything like that. I'm sorry about the shine on the paint there. It's a bit difficult with the lights sometimes when you're painting. You don't know where the shine's going to occur. But this is just white. I don't want it to be too bright. I want it to be brighter closer to you. So the white is a lot more thick down the front here than it is further away. I sort of dampen down the stuff that's further away. Here I'm putting some light reflections on the rocks here. This is just using a bit of white, a bit of yellow ochre, and sort of mixing in all the other colours, you know, because it's oil paint, it's all still wet, so I'm kind of mixing in the black and the brown and putting in some definite lines here with a very small brush. This is a little art discount, do some great brushes. This is a school brush, roundhead number 8, I think it is. I buy a whole pack of them. You can buy like packs of 10, so I buy like 5 or 6 packs, and they, you know, they're really good. So I put a little rock there and put the reflection in the water, and then I put a little bit of white around it where the waves are splashing on the rocks there. So this is kind of how I do a painting like this. This is almost like a quick oil painting sketch of a landscape as opposed to a detailed, but this is the way I work. I can't sit there for hours doing every single rock. I just want to get the atmosphere of the place. It's more, for me, it's more about the atmosphere and the smokiness of the sea, and you know, the waves, and not smoky, you know, misty, not smoky, it's misty. I'm adding a bit of burnt umber, a bit more burnt umber up here on the grass, and getting some shape into these hills. And the last thing I do on top of all of this is add the light, the real reflective light, like the lemon yellow. I've got some lemon yellow coming in soon, and that's where I really bring out the light. Here it is, a bit of lemon yellow and white, and you know, just really where the light's hitting. Oh, I think I've got some cadmium yellow in there as well, but you can use lemon yellow. And this brings out some of the shapes and some of the lines of the paths and things that are going around. There's so many paths and little highlights and things in the mountains, in the hills around it. But I think I'm almost done with this, aren't I? I mean, I'm adding a bit more lemon yellow up there on that mountain there. Mountain? Oh, what do you call this? Oh, gosh, not mountains. Is it outcrops? What do you call them? Anyway, this is the last bit of detail. I'm adding some white here to the waves down and right in the foreground. This is the brightest part that you'll get because it's closest to you. So I'm trying to add some definition into these areas here. I couldn't film all of it because the light reflected all the time on the camera. So I'm sorry I couldn't get all of it done for you. But I hope it gives you an idea on how I do a quick landscape. I will put it on my Etsy store for sale. But that's the finished painting. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope it inspires you to do some sort of seascape or landscape where you live. Maybe you can look out the window and try and do a painting of what you do. Anyway, sorry, the music's kicked in. So stay in, stay alert. Please post your pictures to me. I'd love to see them.